Hi everyone, this subject is corporate administration. So here you will be learning about the detail about the company, then formation of a company, company administration, corporate meetings, and about global companies. Okay, so in the first chapter, we will be seeing in detail about a company. Okay, company overview. So you will be very familiar with the joint stock company, which you have already learned in your PU classes. So we'll just go through that. So joint stock company was introduced to overcome the drawbacks of sole proprietorship and partnership firm. So these two business forms you will be very familiar with. So first is sole proprietorship, which is also known as sole trading concern. So sole trading concern is a business concern which is owned and managed by a single person. Only one owner will be there, and this single owner will be taking the full profit with whatever profit arising from the business, and at the same time this only one person will be bearing whatever risk or losses arising. And next is the partnership firm. So you will be very familiar with the definition of partnership firm. According to the section 4 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, partnership is the relation between persons who have agreed to share profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. So here you will be knowing the members in a partnership firm is known as partners, not members. They are known as partners. So in the partnership, they will be starting a partnership with the agreement. That agreement is known as the agreement between the partners is known as partnership deed. So the minimum number of members or partners in a firm is 2. The maximum will be 10 in banking business and 20 in other business. So here number of members or number of partners is this much. So the main drawbacks of these two business organizations were limited resources and unlimited liability. So as you know, in sole proprietorship and partnership firm, the resources will be very limited. In sole proprietorship, only one person is providing whatever resources required for the business, and if you take a partnership firm, maximum number of members is also limited. So only that many people will be providing required resources to the business. Next, unlimited liability. In sole proprietorship, only one person, the only one owner is bearing all the risk or losses. So the liability will be unlimited. In partnership firm also, except limited partnership, all other partnership, in all other partnerships, partners liability will be unlimited. So to overcome mainly these two drawbacks, joint stock company came into existence. So in India, the joint stock companies are regulated by mainly the Companies Act 1956, and as you all know, the new Companies Act 2013, the Companies Act 2013. So we'll just go through some definitions about joint stock company. Here Professor L.H. Heine, what he has told about joint stock company. Joint stock company is a voluntary association of individuals for profit having a capital divided into transferable shares, the ownership of which is in the condition of membership. So I have underlined some important points which will be coming into the features of joint stock company. So voluntary association. Heine is telling joint stock company is a voluntary association of individuals. So voluntary association means nobody will be forcing to join a company or to leave a company. So it is up to the will of a person to join or leave the company. Next, for profit. The main aim of every business is profit, just as the same for joint stock company also the main aim of business is profit. Next, having a capital. Just like profit, capital is very, very important for every business. Without capital, there is no profit. Every business has to start, every business is required capital to start the business. Again, having a capital divided into transferable shares. Again, transferable shares or transferability of shares is one of the main feature of joint stock company. So all the shares is transferable or freely transferable in the joint stock company. moving to the next definition. Lord Justice Linley, according to him, a company is an association of many persons who contribute money or money's worth to a common stock and employ it in some trade or business and who share the profit or loss arising therefrom. Here also, almost everything similar only. Association of many persons, which we already learned, and who contribute money or money's worth. So this is what the capital of a company. So capital doesn't mean that it is only money or only cash. So what Linley is telling, the members of the company who contributes money or money's worth, it can be cash or money's worth, which that means the things or resources which have monetary value to a common stock and employ it in some trade or business. So whatever money is worth or whatever money the members are contributing, that should not be idle in a company. It should put into the trade or business, and then they will be getting profit. So these members will be sharing profit or loss. Again, we will be seeing in the Companies Act 2013. According to Companies Act 2013, Section 2, subsection 20, a company means a company formed and registered under this act or an existing company. So here, very simple definition which tells a company which is formed and registered under the Companies Act 2013 or an existing company. Existing company means which has already registered in the previous Companies Act. That is a company. This is very common definition which you have thorough with, I guess, or you learned already. Joint stock company is an artificial person created by law having a separate legal entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. Okay, so artificial in detail we will be seeing in the next slide. All these are the features. The underlined points are the features of joint stock company. So features of joint stock company. I'll just go through all the points. Voluntary association, incorporated association, artificial person, separate legal entity, perpetual succession, common seal, limited liability, transferability of shares, large membership, and huge capital. So first point is voluntary association. We just discussed about voluntary association in the definition. So voluntary association means nobody will be forcing a person to become a member of the company, or at the same way nobody can force a person to leave the company or leave his membership. That is why it is known as the voluntary association of persons. Next is incorporated association. So what do you mean by incorporated? Incorporated means registered. So every joint stock company will be registered. Registration of a joint stock company is must or compulsory. So joint stock company is an incorporated or registered association under the Companies Act. Next is artificial person. So the word meaning, artificial person means the person without a body and a soul. So not like us, the company is a person but not like a human being. So this artificial person is created by law. The company, joint stock company, is an artificial person and it is created by law only, not by any human being. Next is separate legal entity. Here what it means, separate legal entity from its owners or members. Every company is having a separate legal entity or separate existence which is different from its owners. The company will be having its own properties in the company's name, but the company's property will not be the owner's property, or the owner's property will not be the company's property. Both are different. The owners will have no right in the company's property. Hope you understood. Next is perpetual succession. That means continuous existence. We learned in sole proprietorship and partnership firm, there is no continuity actually. In sole proprietorship, there is only one owner. If anything happens to that owner, that definitely the business will be closed down. And again, in the partnership, if anything happens to one partner, the partnership firm may close down, or the other partners will discuss whether to continue or not. It is in that way. So there is no guarantee of continuity. But in joint stock company, whatever happens to the owners or members, the company will go on. Like the death, the company will never be affected by the death or insolvency or retirement of its members. The company will continue. Next is common seal. So why the common seal is required to a company? We just learned company is an artificial person. So to enter into the contracts or to sign in any documents, company will not be able to sign because company doesn't have a body. So the company will be having a common seal where the company's emblem and the company's name will be engraved. So through the common seal, the company will be signing on the documents on behalf of the company itself. Next is limited liability. We learned the sole proprietorship and the partnership firm. The main drawbacks in these two are unlimited liability. That means the liability is unlimited. So here in joint stock company, the liability of the members of a joint stock company is limited to the value of shares held by them. So whatever shares they are having, only to that limit their liability, not exceeding to that. So the personal property of owners cannot be used to pay the debts of the company. This is what meant by limited liability. Next is transferability of shares. This also we learned and explained in the definition. So the members of a public company, not in a private company. So members of a public company are free to transfer the shares held by them to others. To any people they can transfer their shares. Next is large membership. So joint stock company has a large membership compared to sole proprietorship and partnership firm. The members in that two firms are very less or one. So here in the joint stock company, there is actually no limit to the maximum number of persons who can join in a public company. Okay, private company, there are some limitations. Hope you are very clear with the features of the joint stock company. Next, we will see the difference between partnership firm and a company, joint stock company. So these are some differences between both partnership and joint stock company. So first point is number of members. So number of members in a partnership firm, minimum is 2 and maximum 10 in a banking business and maximum 20 in other business. If you take joint stock company, the number of members minimum in a private company is 2, maximum is 50. This is according to Companies Act 1956, but the latest Companies Act 2013, it has changed. The maximum number of members in a private company is 200 now. And if you take public company, the minimum number of members is 7 and the maximum is unlimited. In how many people wanted to join in the public company? Anybody can join because the maximum number is unlimited. Second one, the act, which act will be following? So in the partnership firm, it is following the Indian Partnership Act 1932, and joint stock company, it was Companies Act 1956, but the new act is 2013. Third one, partnership is created by an agreement. That is the agreement between the partners, which is known as partnership deed. But in joint stock company, the company is created by law. We learned that company is not at all created by any members or any owners. It is created by the law only. Next, the fourth point is registration is optional. The registration of partnership is optional, not compulsory. But in case of joint stock company, registration is compulsory. Fifth point, in partnership firm, there is no separate legal entity. That is, there is no separate entity or difference from the company, the partnership firm and the partners. But in joint stock company, there is a separate legal entity. That is, the company is different and the owners are different. Then in partnership, the partners cannot transfer partners' right without consulting the other partners. But in joint stock company, the shares can be transferred. The members can transfer their shares to anyone. Next point in partnership, may or may not have continuous existence. As we learned, In partnership, if anything happens to the partner, the partnership firm may close down, or if other partners are okay to continue, then they will continue. But in joint stock company, whatever happens to the members, any members, the company will go on, company will continue. So there is continuous existence. The last point in partnership, audit of accounts is not at all compulsory, because the partnership, the registration of partnership itself not compulsory. So audit of accounts is not compulsory. In joint stock company, auditing of accounts is compulsory. It is must. Hope you all understood the difference between partnership and joint stock company. Thank you.